Hello class, today we are starting a new topic, that is conversion of decimals to fractions. In the last class we have seen how to convert fractions into decimals. Today we will be converting decimals into fractions. For example, I am writing a number here, that is a decimal number 0.4. Now for converting these decimals into fraction, you have to follow some steps. Step number 1. In step number 1, you remove the decimals from the number. Okay, in the numerator what you have to write? In the numerator you write the number without decimal. What is the number without decimal? Yes, the number without decimal is 4. Now in the denominator you will be writing 1. In the denominator you have to write 1 followed by number of zeros as number of places in the decimal. Means there are how many places after the decimal? There is only one place. So we have to put 1 0 after the 1. This is how we can convert any decimal into fraction. Now if they are saying write the fraction in the simplest form. So this is converted into fraction, but it is not in its simplest form. So how to convert it in simplest form? We have to divide it by some number if there is any common factor. We know that 4 we can divide by 2 and 10 we can divide by 2. So we will be dividing 4 by 2 and 10 by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2 and 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now there is no common factor between 2 and 5. So it is in its simplest form and it is the fraction is in simplest form. Moving on to the next question, I am taking one example here, 0.13. Okay, so the question is 0.13 and we have to convert this into fraction. For that we have to follow some step. First step is writing the number without decimal point. So what is the number without decimal point? It is 13, right? Now we will be writing the denominator 1. Now how many zeros I have to put here? Means the number of places, there are 2 places after the decimal point. So I will be putting 2 zeros. You just count the number of places after the decimal point and the same number of zeros you have to put after 1. Now there is no common factor between 13 and 100. So it is in its simplest form and now it is converted as fractions. I have taken here 3 examples so that we can solve quickly because we have got the concept. First, what we will do? We will write the numerator without decimal. Then how many 1? 1. And how many zeros? There will be 1 0 because there is only one place after the decimal point. Again, we will write the number without decimal point. We will write 1 in the denominator. How many zeros I have to put? I have to put 2 zeros here, right? Now next question, 5 7. Without decimal we have written the number in the numerator and 1 in the denominator. And how many zeros I have to put after 1? There are 1, 2, 3 places. So I will be putting 3 zeros. Now after getting my answer, I have to check whether is there any common factor in the numerator or denominator. If it is not, so my answer is this. There is no common factor, so this is my final answer. There is no common factor, so this is my final answer. If there is any common factor, then we have to simplify that fraction into its simplest form. Let us see how to convert a mixed type of fraction. Means it is a decimal with a whole number. Okay, it is having a whole part also and the decimal part also. How to convert this decimal into fraction? First, what we will do, we will split the whole part and the decimal part. we will be splitting the whole part and decimal part. We know that this part will not be converted into fraction, so it will remain as it is. Now, as I have explained to you that we will be writing this 0.25 as 25 because we have to write it without decimal in the numerator, and in the denominator we will be writing 1 followed by 2 zeros because there are two places in the decimal after the decimal. So I will be putting 2 zeros. Now this 4 will remain as it is. Now is there any common factor between the numerator and denominator? Yes, both can be divided by number 5 because we know the divisibility rule of 5. So we will be dividing both by 5. So 25 divided by 5 and 100 divided by 5. What we are getting, class? 25 divided by 5 is 5 and 100 divided by 5 is 5 2s is 10 and 0. Again we can see both the numbers comes in the table of 5. Again we can divide it by 5. So it will be 4 plus 5 1s is 5 and 5 4s is 20, and we can write 4 plus 1 by 4 as 4 whole 1 by 4. So this is how you can convert a mixed type of fraction into its simplest form or fractional form. Here I have taken a question of book page number 79, question number 2E. It is a mixed type of decimal and I have to convert it into its fractional form and then its simplest form. So first what I will be doing, I will be splitting it as 5 plus 0.45. Now I know this is a whole number. I cannot convert it into fraction. So I will be writing 5 as it is. Then for decimal, I have already explained it to you that I will be writing number without decimal in the numerator, that is 45. And in the denominator, I will be writing 1 and I will be putting 2 zeros after the 1 because there are two places after the decimal. There are two places after the decimal, so I am putting 2 zeros after 1. Now 5 will remain as it is, and then we have to see, is there any common factor between the numerator and denominator? So we have to divide by that common factor. If we know the divisibility rule of 5, that if the ones place is either 0 or 5, so that number can be divisible by 5. Here we can see, here is ones place is 0, here ones place is 5, so we can easily divide it by 5. So I will be dividing it with 5. We know that 5 9s is 45 and 5 2s is 10 and 0. So now there is no common factor between the numerator and denominator. And how many wholes are here? 5 wholes are here. And what is the fraction? Fraction is 9 by 20. So this is how we can convert a mixed type of decimal into a fractional form and simplest fractional form, right? So this is how you have to solve the other questions. That is question number 2 of page number 79 in your copy, and ask me if there is any doubt.